Hello everyone, welcome to the Before and After podcast. I'm your host Jacob, and with me today I have
Sam,
Colby,
Raymond.
And the way this is going to work is we're going to talk about something for 30 minutes or so, then we're going to go have our fun, come back in, talk about similar topics, this time though after we've had our fun, and that's the show. You guys want to talk about video games?
Yeah, okay, I actually have a really good subject that I heard some podcasts talk about, and considering like the way each of us has different tastes in video games, so because of that I thought this would be a very interesting conversation. So, a little background into this. This is in regards to EA on October 17th when they shut down the Visceral Games. And if you guys don't know Visceral Games was the company that made the Dead Space series. It was one of EA's flagship franchises, and it was more of a single-player horror, linear story-driven game. And at that time, before they got shut down, they were working on a single-player Star Wars game, and that everybody was super excited for. And so EA shut down that studio, and the reasoning being is that they're going to take the properties of that Star Wars game and rework it to where it is more of a game that's more just a platform in which you buy the game and you continually invest time and money into it because the developers are making more stuff for it. Something like, say, Destiny, which is doing very well right now. So I thought it was an interesting conversation because after this happened, a lot of people were getting into conversations about are single-player games dying in any way? And the logic behind that is that the idea of buying a $60 game once and then you just hope as a game developer, you just hope as many people buy the games, as many people buy that one game as much as they can, they would...
You wouldn't be making as much money as if there's continual transactions along with that $60 purchase.
Yes, exactly. So, and if you look at the numbers, it's just so staggeringly different how much more money these games as a platform are getting. Like it's a difference of tens of millions of dollars. And so the idea of big AAA publishing games such as EA, for them to make a single player games. It seems like they're just not going to do that anymore. They're going to stick to games like they're going to follow in Activision's footsteps as they usually do, and they're going to try to get games like they're going to try to get games similar to Destiny, and they're going to do that with Star Wars and similar to what they wanted to do with Battlefront 2. So my question to you guys is, I have two questions.
Start with one.
Yeah. Yeah. So, my one question is, we all kind of have different tastes in video games. You all play completely different video games. So, if single-player games went away for you guys personally, how would you feel about that? Would that change your experience with video games? Would you devolve from video games in any way, shape, or form? Or would you miss it at all?
I'd say I play a comfortable mix of single-player and multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
If single-player games went away, I'd probably be pretty upset, since they're probably the ones that I consider my favorite games.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say like multiplayer games online and stuff, it's fun to play like with you guys and stuff, and so they have different ways of getting you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say they're totally different types of things to play.
Like you need both. It's not just like video games are one. Like predominantly I just play shooters because I'm basic as hell. But sometimes, not in the mood for playing against people who are better than me, or playing with you guys, and I want to just, zone out. I'm going like a single-player game, so it's like different strokes for different folks kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
For me, the multiplayer games fill a whole different area of entertainment for me, whereas single-player games are very different. I experience them more as like an artwork, how you play it to appreciate it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's less of a challenge. It can be a challenge.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of multiplayer as a challenge and single-player as an experience.
Mm-hmm.
And if single-player games went away, I would be very disappointed, but I'd probably continue to play multiplayer games because I would be able to fill that void of single-player games with other things like, sounds lame, but reading.
That's how fun. We're saying I'll see that example too. Reading,
Yeah, watching videos and things like that. I mean, they're very different.
Yeah, I wouldn't like boycott video games because like I'm a follower.
Yeah.
But I would be like, I guess I gotta read more books now or something.
It's
and I don't want to read more books.
It's interesting when I originally heard about this. Like I was thinking about it. Like I wouldn't boycott it or like, oh screw this is so stupid. I would probably like say theoretically there just weren't any more single-player games being released, and every game was in some way, shape, or form a platform in which it was a massively multiplayer thing they have to continue to invest money into. I know for a fact that I would eventually grow out of video games if that was the only option I have. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, all my favorite games are single-player, story-driven experiences where I had to put the game down and reflect on it, and that reflection of, okay, how do I feel about that game now? Mm-hmm. Those are the games I've always come to enjoy. And just for example, the only real multiplayer game I ever played is Overwatch, and that's because you guys play it. And that's the only time I really ever enjoy the game. So personally for me and my taste, and just because how I love it, I love a good story, and I love really time-driven games where you have to like put your whole mind into that world, like JRPGs. That's usually my thing. But
Japanese role-playing games.
Japanese role-playing games. Oh, yes. The nerdiest of all video games, in case you wanted to gauge it and you didn't know. But so yeah, I'm pretty sure I would grow out of video games if those went away from me.
It's just hard to think.
Yeah,
I would say out of us, you probably play the most single player, like predominantly. That's you.
Yeah,
like 80% of your time.
Yeah,
and then you
so
probably next. Yeah,
we're probably.
Let's say you.
Okay.
You're the Steam guy who's horror games.
Yeah,
and
but
like,
again, half the single player games I get really into, I send Sam's way. just hoping that he agrees. He's like, I know this game is good. Like,
you're really set on me playing Nier.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And then I think since you played Nier, you've bought like hundreds of dollars worth of games that are like all single player.
I think we also factor out maybe hundreds of dollars if they weren't Steam sales. If they weren't regular games that weren't on sale.
$300 of value.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So also sorry about that plane that you hear.
Yeah.
Maybe you can. But I'll apologize anyway.
One thing about single player is that they offer a lot more creative freedom for developers to go and make a story. Yeah. Multiplayer is just like, let's give them a gun.
Point and click.
Yeah,
give them this.
Yeah, and it's like an example, like, I've never played Destiny 2, but Destiny 2 has a story, and I heard like a lot of criticisms about it, and I think you guys could vouch for me. You guys don't really follow the story much because you play it 3 times to get each of your characters to 20, so you can give them the gear, and story is kind of just a caveat for your character to 20.
I like the story in Destiny.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting.
It's a good story, but the game, I feel like, encourages you to pound through it.
Yeah.
Because it's so focused on, you gotta get to 20 so you can get that grind to that level 3 or 5. So the story itself, if you were to sit down and enjoy it, like, you know, I used to sit down and enjoy the Halo campaigns and stuff like that. If you were to sit down and enjoy it like that, it would be very good. It's very good. I mean, they're nominated for the best music in a game, best score.
Yeah.
Wonderful music.
Very good music. It ties together well with everything, very dramatic.
Yeah. I hope Nier beats it.
Different talking point.
Right.
But the game itself is, the whole platform itself, like we were saying, is that platform of, it's a continuous thing that you put money and time in, a lot of money and time into. And so the time for the campaign shouldn't be long because the time grinding up to the max level should be the big grind.
Yeah, but would you agree then that perhaps they only put the single player in because a lot of people would be pissed if there wasn't a single player? So it's more just to check the box. So
I don't think so.
I think so?
I mean, it's Bungie. I think they still want to tell a story.
Okay, that's
but
fair.
they also want to tell a story in the format of an MMORPG that you play with your like geared towards the raid. I think that's like the focus is like raid-like events like Destiny.
It seems like the raid is a scenario in which everything gravitates.
I think Bungie wanted to make a game that literally everyone on the planet would play because they have PvP, they have PvE, they have campaign, they have challenges.
I think that the campaign isn't as much for the sake of the campaign, but for the sake of the universe itself.
Yeah, that too. It gives you a reason to keep going back if you're interested in it.
Yeah, the fleshed out world.
Yeah.
It's more for the world of itself, which is actually, the campaign itself is pretty good, but I do think that the world of Destiny, the extended universe, everything about it
definitely feels more like the main game is the after game.
Oh, really?
After the campaign.
So the raids and all that stuff.
Yes, the raids, and the grinding almost seems like more of a thing. Grinding with friends, at least. That's how we played it.
And then strikes and nightfalls.
Yeah.
And quirks on different things.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So, okay. my second question about that is, and this will be going back because we spent a lot of time talking about a game that is as a platform, and as you guys talk about it, it's obviously you guys really like that game. So it is interesting, even though games as a platform, it's in putting it in as a negative light, because that was used to shut down visceral games. It's obvious that there is an appeal to those games. But the second question I have is this question of our single player games going away. It was introduced at a very interesting time when a lot of good single player games came out that year. It's a very interesting thing. The top games that the games that are nominated for Game of the Year right now are Legend of Zelda, Mario, Horizon Zero Dawn, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and
the epitome of
Nier.
Yeah, literally. And was there
Nier? That's what I said.
Nier was actually, I remember in Open Critic, it was like one of the top 5 highest rated games, but Nier Automata is not Game of the Year. But it has one for action adventure, it has for narrative, and it has one for music. And Horizon Zero Dawn, I was surprised. I never played Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't know if you guys ever played it. It got a lot of spots for like every single category for Game of the Year. And Hellblade's a Sin of Sacrifice. That got a lot of things too. And it's interesting, that was an indie studio that kind of went against everything that EA and Activision would say is going on with the gaming trend. They did the exact opposite with it, and they got a really good game out of it. So it's very interesting that this conversation was even introduced when we had a really good year of single-player games. So just going around again, like, if with that in mind, do you guys think that this is more of a trend? That this is like the idea of games as a platform, it's making money now because that just happens to be what games are feeding into? Do you guys really think single-player games will really ever go away?
No. I'll tell you why. Right now, multiplayer games are super popular, and why EA killed their single-player game.
Yeah.
Because the big studios just care about money.
Yeah.
That's all they care about. And the multiplayer games give them money. So, from a business standpoint, like, you can have your opinions on what's a good game or not.
Yeah.
It would be stupid to fund a game that's not going to make as much money as this other game that would make more money. So, single-player games, even if big studios start killing them off more and more, indie developers can't afford to have like massive servers to have massive multiplayer games.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be way more indie single player games.
Right.
And those are the ones that people who are single player aficionados, they end up liking those more anyway. Like those are the ones people rave about, like Oni or Ori and the Blind Forest, and A Hat in Time that you just played.
Yeah,
those are the games that like people who love single player games, they rave about those.
Yeah.
I think that where we're moving is single player games is more of like a niche like audience. Where like if you look at like movies, how many of you saw a superhero movie within the last, like 6 months?
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much all of us. How many of you saw La La Land or like Fences? Oscar-nominated movies, considered very good works of art. There is a general audience, and then there's subcategories of this. Single player is moving more towards. It's like a sub-audience where there's a lot less people consuming them.
Yeah.
And then there's all these other like art pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
More like these cinema type movies that get Oscars and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are the type of games where they're not going to be as many, but there's an audience of people who appreciate all of them.
Yeah. And to bounce off that real quick, it is interesting because games are getting so big and so many people are playing games, and because of that, so many games are being made. There are people, honestly, like us, we all play video games, they all play them all the time. There are people who consider themselves gamers, play games at any time where they have time off, so like tens of hours every single week, and they can meet another gamer and not play the same game all year. They could play completely different video games, and that's becoming a very normal thing now. Like,
are there just too many games, you think?
That might be
too many choices.
That might be it. But that also might apply to the niche categories. You're saying like maybe people like me who are playing single player games. Maybe it's just enough people like me to where maybe not AAA game publishers, but relatively known game developers, they'll still make single player games because there's enough people like me who know I'm gonna play those games, and that will still be enough for them. And so that's a very interesting.
Or it'll be like Nintendo. Like Nintendo's good at making single player games.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep making single player games.
And
EA is good at making shitloads of money off multiplayer games.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep making shitloads of money off multiplayer games. Yeah. And just gonna keep going in that direction.
Well, and I think a lot of people, when they think of games, when you just say video games in general, they think, oh, Call of Duty, massive multiplayer.
That's what I think.
Big things,
Yeah.
and then you kind of just look past like the single player, story driven, and people just think, oh no, it's people play online with their friends, or against people, and I feel like that's just the kind of the way that games are looked at.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. Another thing I actually heard about this is that this whole game as a platform thing, it might just be something of a passing trend in general. Reason being, there's always that push, especially EA likes to do this, whenever Activision hits a stride with something, they immediately want to like, okay, Activision did this, we should try to follow suit in this because this is where the money is. So it might be no surprise that Destiny 2 does really well. As Destiny 2 is doing well, it's like, okay, there's proof that this game as a platform thing is working. Let's shut down Visceral and let's just go all into the Star Wars thing. Because Activision proved that this worked, so let's go into that. With that in mind, do you guys remember like 5 years ago where every single player game had just a shoehorned in multiplayer segment? Like say Mass Effect 3, it's BioShock 2, games like that. It was just a very random thing to where, or like even The Last of Us. The Last of Us didn't need a multiplayer. It didn't. But everybody was convinced like you're not going to make money unless there's some online multiplayer segment.
I think Assassin's Creed was one of the first people who did that.
Right, exactly.
They actually did a decent job with it. I think it was pretty fun.
Because it was unique. It wasn't just another first-person shooter.
Yeah, they did. Unlike everybody's kind of like, oh, well, we have a single-player game. We need something that people can be competitive with.
Like BioShock 2, I've seen just... BioShock 2 having a multiplayer...
I didn't even know it had a multiplayer, to be honest.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it did. Because Batman Arkham Origins had an online multiplayer.
Who do you do in that?
So what it is, there's 3 teams, right? It's like so imagine just the basic like factions, like a really bad Team Fortress 2 thing, and they go against each other, and there's Batman and Robin. And then there's just kill like everybody else like kill as many people as you need to win. And then there's Batman and Robin who it's their own goal to just kill as many people as they can.
And so you spent hours and hours playing as Batman, like the coolest fighter in the whole city. And then they made you play as a grunt.
Or it's a crappy third-person game where you're a grunt.
That's awful.
Yeah, right?
It's really forced.
Yeah, it's terrible. I tried it out. And by the time I got into that, nobody was on the servers. It was dead in like a week. It was honestly incredible.
You know what still has the servers running? Modern Warfare.
Really?
I jumped on the other day. Well, it was the first one.
Wow.
Well, actually, second one.
Full Modern Warfare 2.
It was Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
I was waiting for my Xbox One to do an update. I was like, play one of my 360 games. There's still people on. Kick the shit out of me.
Nice.
Because they've been playing that game for
10
8 years. Yeah.
It's
like Counter-Strike.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Can't get into Counter-Strike.
No.
But good.
So I don't think single player games are gonna go away. I think that the thing you said about the movies is accurate. They're just gonna have their own.
What about the audience just getting more and more separated from the online? Call of Duty, Battlefield, stuff like that, and then the single player.
There'll be different types of gamers. They'll have the people like Colby who
just
only
get
play
more
single player
separated.
games.
Yeah.
They'll have the people like probably us that only play multiplayer games, and then you'll have the soccer moms that only play Candy Crush. And those are the 3 types of gamers.
Yeah.
And then the soccer moms probably make the most money for the developers.
Yeah.
And then us with the multiplayer games. And then the single player games. But they win awards. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Like one of them will win an award.
Yeah. I think that also the game developers they've been making they make a lot more money than they used to back in the day when games used to be kind of nerdy. And gamers had a lot of stereotypes, and there was actually more of a push against games as being evil by like more conservative groups and stuff.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Thinking about like the '90s and even the early 2000s more. And now
very
gamers
mainstream.
are very general, very mainstream, broad audience, and so they're seeing that you can make a lot of money off of gamers.
Yeah.
People like games.
Yeah, people like
So
games.
for like the big developers, there's that appeal to like, if everyone's playing video games, let's try to get everyone playing our game. So they're just like, what game has the most audience, makes the most money?
Yeah.
That model. Or then you have minor gambling for microtransactions.
Yeah.
And you have multiplayer to keep the competitive spirit going.
Yeah.
There's really not a stigma against gamers, and so everyone's starting to buy them. I know I saw somebody at the cafe at school. There was a guy and a girl talking, and they were talking about video games. Two people who did not look like people I would consider video games. The guy wearing a bro tank top, and the girl's wearing very trendy clothes, and they're both sitting there on their MacBook Airs talking about what video games they play. It was bizarre. It's not something that I would have thought of as a child.
You would walk by, like, you can't play video games. You gotta get bullied first.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Yeah. He did not deserve video games at this point. You think you just get into this?
Yeah.
So yeah, they're reaching such a broad audience, and anytime anything reaches a broad audience, they're going to try to exploit as much as they can.
Money becomes the name of the game.
Yeah.
Money is the name of the game.
Yeah, and as they get bigger, it's going to get more. It's just certain games get more niche and it's going to go back to there's going to be a lot of people who just play only certain kinds of games, and that's going to be okay at some point. Or no, it's probably much okay now.
It's close to that point.
Yeah, it's very close. It's very close. I think about 5 years. I think it'll be very normal for people to just only play multiplayer games, and they never touch a single player game, and it's to be completely normal. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you're like halfway there at this point. You only play Overwatch because we play Overwatch, and you want to play with us.
Yeah, let me tell you, I haven't played first-person shooter in years until I got into Overwatch. So yeah, I definitely agree with
Whereas I've played probably one single-player game since Skyrim. I played Skyrim because everyone played Skyrim.
Yeah.
And I played XCOM 2 just because I needed some space to be in my own head a couple times. So.
Yeah, for sure. I'm happy I got XCOM 2. It's like a semi-RTS, right?
Yeah, it's a strategy. Yeah.
Turn-based.
Turn-based. Yeah.
Yeah. I played original XCOM, never played 2. Yeah, it's great. So, with that in mind, so we're talking about EA. Have you guys been hearing about all the stuff that's been going on with microtransactions?
Everyone. Biggest Reddit down post comment in history.
Negative 700,000.
Yeah.
It's up to 700 now?
Yeah, it's past 700.
And then
I don't even know. I haven't checked in a long time. So.
But then they pulled back. Probably because Disney was like, don't you dare make people hate Star Wars.
Yeah, seriously.
So
you can't ruin that license. It's so weird. I feel like the Star Wars property feels like it's just been a thing that's been milked off nostalgia for so long, and just now people are like, you know what? You can't hold our nostalgia that much for ransom. Like, how far do you think we're gonna go for? Like, no, we're not doing this. We're not keeping up with this.
Making me spend time to get Darth Vader is too far.
Yeah,
it's too far.
That's where I draw the line.
I need to play Luke and Darth Vader right off the bat.
Yeah.
It's true though, but it's not. People are still going to buy Battlefront 2.
Oh, yeah. No.
People, just because Reddit got upset at it, Reddit's a hive mind, and Reddit's not that mainstream yet.
It's not.
700,000, that's a lot.
That's impressive.
However,
there's almost 400 million people in America alone.
Right, yeah. But there's not
and half them will buy Battlefront 2.
Right, yeah. People don't care.
Yeah.
People are going to be like, everyone that's buying Battlefront 2 is probably going to say, well, I'm not going to spend that much money on it. I'm just playing it because it's a fun game.
And you're saying, have people played Battlefront 2? They have no idea that this Reddit thing even happened.
Yeah.
They don't know.
There was a big response to it. EA did cancel all the microtransactions in the game.
For sure. And also
with the promise of possibly having crystals for sale.
They've hard said at a later date, crystals will be available for purchase.
Yeah.
Right.
But we don't know how they're going to do that.
I did see that. A couple days ago, there was another Reddit post. It was on Top of Gaming. Had almost 100,000 of those by the time I saw it. It was just in all caps. Don't listen to EA. Don't buy the game. They're just going to put crystals back in, and it'll be all for naught. And it was just very.
But
oh man.
Even with that, come a week before Christmas. A mom is going to walk into Target and be like, what's this game that my 8-year-old son...
has Darth Vader on top? My son likes Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars. And then they're going to talk to the Target guy who, plays Candy Crush on the weekend, and he's like, yeah, it's a cool game. Everyone loves Star Wars. You should buy your son this. And then she'll be like, okay. And that kid will spend $1,000 with her credit card.
On microtransactions.
Right, yeah.
Literally.
And still not be able to unlock everything.
Right.
Gosh,
parents will be none the wiser. They'll just be like, oh, our kid's dumb.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But okay, did you hear about the death threat that the developer got from EA?
Yeah.
On Twitter, some EA developer was like, "Oh, I'm getting death threats now." This is before the whole thing blew up. But then a reporter went to reach out to that guy. Probably doesn't work for EA.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's been an imposter on Twitter for the last 2 years pretending to work for EA.
Oh my God.
Just because, I don't get it. Like, he's been defending EA on Twitter for 2 years and probably doesn't even work there. I don't know why anyone would want to. Maybe just so that one day he could go viral defending a company that everyone on the internet universally hates.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't make sense, but apparently that guy, like, not official, allegedly, but, like, on his Twitter bio doesn't say he works for EA anymore. Like, when he was, like, he was responding to this guy's Twitter DMs, and he's like, yeah, I'll cooperate with an interview. And he's like, so I talked to some people at EA, and they don't think he worked there. Radio silence. So I don't get why someone would pretend to work for EA.
It's
for
quite
2
the
years.
long con for a very small team.
Right, yeah.
That guy saw potential in something no one else saw. He thought he was getting something out of that.
What did he get out of that?
I think he wanted to be the one to make a comment that was going to get downvoted to hell the way it did. I think he thought it was going to be him.
He wanted to go viral in a negative way?
Yeah, I think that was him.
And he presses good press type of guy. Yeah.
Right, for maybe, but why are you an EA fanboy? Who's an EA fanboy? Like,
I like Madden.
I like Mass Effect.
Madden 4 is pretty fun.
Yeah.
But it's like, you don't need to be a fanboy of, like, the company that makes the most money making video games. It doesn't make sense.
That's the ultimate long-term bandwagon deal if you're going to do that.
Yeah. It's just kind of a funny twist of events.
Yeah, it's like defending the Patriots for Deflategate.
Right, yeah. It's like, so you won the Super Bowl. Like, stop whining. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are mad at you because you keep winning the Super Bowl, and that's not going to change.
Yeah.
It's weird. But,
That's bizarre.
yeah. Don't worry, microtransactions for now.
Yeah.
I think we're running out of time on the batteries for right now. we're gonna go have our fun for a little bit, and then we'll be back with more to talk about. Thank you. This has been the before. Please join us in the after.
See ya.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello? Welcome back.
No.
Okay.
Jared, go sit back there.
Hi, I'm Ray.
No,
We're in!
I'm sorry.
And welcome back
Why
to
did
the
you
Before
call?
and After podcast. I'm Jacob. I haven't changed names since then. This is the After. And if you're just joining us now, here it
We're
is.
supposed to, okay, no names.
They know our goddamn names. Explain what we're
Sam,
talking about.
Colby, and Ray.
Oh,
And,
you're right.
Right now,
I'm Raymond now.
something, it's been a while since we've been with you. We realized that the country Finland doesn't exist. Discuss? Apparently, I'm gonna discuss actually.
Yeah.
I'll be quick. Apparently, like World War II, before World War II, Japan wanted to fish a bunch, but there was like fishing regulations, and we were like, we can't fish in the sea because the sea has fishing regulations. Guess what doesn't have fishing regulations? Land.
A country that doesn't exist.
A fake
So
country.
they were like, yo, Russia, how about we make up a country called Finland because that's the land of fish.
Wait.
So they were in cahoots with Russia?
Russia's cool.
But wait, what weren't Japan and
cahoots.
Russia against each other in
That's
World
what
War
it's
II?
before World War II.
I read it on WikiLeaks.
Or like around World War II. Honestly, my information's kind of fuzzy, but then WikiLeaks is secure and good.
And some good subreddits are always good for foundation. Always good.
r/Finland conspiracy. Anyway,
100%
then they're like,
accurate.
no one's gonna regulate fishing over a landmass.
Exactly.
So where everyone thinks Finland is, Japan's just fishing the shit out of fish. And then they sell a lot of fish there. And then it's like a worldwide conspiracy at this point because everyone's buddy with
Okay,
Japan.
so just out of curiosity, so people who live in Finland currently, and say they live in Finland, where do they
That's
actually
a great
live?
example. Right, answer that.
They don't.
Good answer. To clarify,
No, actually, well, they
They
live.
don't because they don't exist. There are
They
no
live in
Finnish
neighboring
people.
countries.
There are no
that's
Finnish.
a lie. Don't listen to him.
All
Reddit.
this,
Yeah,
every
but
single
listen to
one-
what everything else we say.
All the Scandinavian countries have part of them that is Finland, and all the people who are Finnish are really just part of these other Scandinavian countries. They're just being told that they're in Finland. Really, they're not in Finland. They're just in Sweden or like Norway or these other
Or
countries.
like Western Russia,
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
Northern Denmark. They think that they're in like Helsinki,
Yeah.
but really they're like in Denmark. And like flying there, you wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah.
It's a
They
rare
think
one.
they have their own individuality, but they really don't. They're just associated with other things.
They're just being poured out to all those countries.
Oh.
Right, and then
No.
really where they think they are, like it's a worldwide conspiracy. Astronauts are in on it too. It's just to see, and then Japan and everyone else is in on it now too to keep up with the conspiracy. They just fish like crazy in that area. No regulations.
Yeah.
Because the fishing regulation people, FRP, I believe, they can't enforce shit on a country because there's no water. That's the
Exactly.
conspiracy.
Have you ever seen a picture of Europe from space?
Right, no. Yeah, you've seen a doctored picture.
No, yeah, exactly.
Of space.
No one has.
Right, if you've been to space,
It makes no sense.
guarantee you haven't been to space.
Yeah.
Hey, have you been to space?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Oh, they say no. They say no.
So we learned that in the break that Finland doesn't exist.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy.
Clearly established.
But, like, I get it.
Yeah, just make for a sec. So it was established pre-World War II, and then it just kept going, and even after World War II, when American colonization happened.
Right, then we became buddy with Japan. We're like,
Exactly.
If you let us fish there, we'll keep up the rules
Exactly.
for you.
Yeah,
Right.
and they're all in. They're all in. There's no reason to. It was just good money. It's good save money.
Conspiracy.
I think anime.
Highly recommend.
Is that where it started?
Go ahead, Sam.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, r/Finland conspiracy is where we can all gather and talk about the truth.
Because I feel like this is an unpopular opinion.
Yes.
I just want to know it's like credible sources.
No, yeah, people don't like when you say Finland doesn't exist. But Finland, it doesn't exist though.
I highly agree.
So if you want to talk to people who know what they're doing, r/Finland conspiracy, the mods there, one mod, I've only seen
It
one
may
mod.
or may not be in the link below in the description. We'll discuss that later, but we'll figure that out.
Right, yeah.
May or may
What are
not.
some
We'll know.
current articles from
Finland conspiracy. Someone posted a picture of all the world maps, and he was like, "What the heck? This world map says Finland's on there." It's because who do you think makes world maps? World leaders or people who've been tricked by world leaders?
No, not
globalists.
Trek. They're fully in that. They're
Google.
fully in on it.
Google is in on it for sure.
Oh my God,
Google
yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's all I think I have to say about Finland. You guys got anything else? That's a no.
Not much to say about nothing.
Right, yeah, so this doesn't exist. I mean, people from Finland, they do exist as people. They're just lied to. They think, like
Yeah.
you said,
Finland
Sweden,
is part of all these countries.
Denmark.
It's really sad. Really, their entire culture is based around the idea that their country exists,
Right.
Yeah.
and
It
it
really is sad.
simply
It's
does
sad.
not. And so I just. I think they've heard about it for a while, and when we break it to them, because we're gonna travel there, like 2 summers from
Or
now.
we travel
travel
to
to
Sweden, or like
Sweden.
Denmark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not going to travel to Finland.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. Yeah, it's just a body of water.
I don't know.
It's just a body of water. I don't know what
how
to
to
do.
swim.
Yeah.
Right, so Colin Kaepernick's getting blackballed in the NFL because of something.
Hey, what were the 2 rules we had? What were the 2 things we couldn't talk about?
No anime,
No A, no S.
no anime, and no sports.
That's the only 2 things we had, dude.
But I want anime.
Stop talking.
You're not
about
even
it.
the fucking
I swear
podcast.
to God, I'll come over and beat your ass right now.
Stop it.
Oh my god.
Stop it.
There's
You
no
guys got
rules.
anything to talk about that doesn't involve any other sports? Because I'm going to keep going on sports if you guys
The
don't
only
stop.
reason you should be on camera is if you're bringing me string cheese.
That's a good reason.
What about our story?
Yeah, go.
Our buddy turned 21 last night.
He did?
He did.
He's not here right now.
Yeah, but it was
He's
in
not here.
late December when it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
And
actually.
then stop bringing him string cheese.
It's a stagehand. It's okay. It's okay. That's the only
And
one here.
then, what was the funny story that happened last night?
Yeah.
We did.
We could talk about last night for
You
sure.
tell it, because I've been talking to
What
you.
went to?
I hate the sound of my
Did you
voice.
say?
I did, a little bit. Tell the story, man.
What story?
We went
We're not sponsored by.
Yeah, no, we
what's,
watched-
what's a competitor for Applebee's?
to fucking hometown buffet.
Yeah. Sponsored by Hometown Buffet.
Does that still exist? It still exists.
It does. I heard you can go there on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then like, the person who told me said it's like, oh, it's so nice. And then I'm like, why the fuck would I go to hometown buffet?
I do remember when I was a kid, it was like it was so nice because you just paid for there once, and I understood the concept of money
No,
when I
exactly.
was 5. So I went there and just got all the chicken and all the chicken legs I
Everything's
could get.
mediocre though.
Right.
Mac
but-
and cheese, soft serve ice cream.
For sure. But then at one time, that used to be my favorite place to go, and then cockroach crawled out of the booth behind me. Parents were like, no.
Easy snack. Easy snack.
No, they said no more.
Oh,
We don't eat cockroaches in this family.
And we can
Nope.
say these things because we're not sponsored by either.
Is Hometown Buffet a national chain, or do we just give away where we live?
Perhaps.
It's national, right?
We'll discuss that later, or we'll switch it with Marie calendars,
I'll give you
which
guys a
is
hint.
probably more topical to this situation
I'll give you guys a hint where we live. It's not Finland.
You say-
because it doesn't. exist.
Deductible.
If I
Dude, stop it.
We're talking about taxes over here.
Don't whisper. The mic can't pick it
Oh,
up.
sorry, Mike. We're talking about taxes, and you don't want to hear that, so that's why we're whispering. You guys got anything else to talk about?
String cheese pretty good.
String
cheese?
What's your
Okay.
favorite kind of cheese?
I don't really like cheese that much, but I like string cheese.
Mozzarella is the correct answer. What's your favorite kind of cheese?
I like Havarti.
What the?
What
it's a real mild white cheese.
I didn't know that there was
I
cheese.
probably like
A
it.
mild white cheese.
Enlighten me.
You asked me about it. I'm not a snob. If you ask me about it and I tell you what my favorite is.
You're a snob.
Yeah, let's just establish you are a
He's
snob.
not a
All
snob
things
if
are
you ask
into.
him. Period. He's not a snob if you ask him. If you ask a wine person who likes wine a lot what their favorite wine is, they give you some super specific answer because all the tones and stuff. They're not a snob because you ask them. You open that bottle.
You're right. I'm wrong. But I am curious. What the fuck is Havarti cheese?
Havarti.
Havarti.
That's what I said.
It's really mild.
Okay.
It's a white cheese. It's not bad.
How is the cheese mild?
Well, it's not.
Like it's not sharp.
Not sharp.
Yeah.
What is sharp?
So sharp cheddar, like do you know
Sharp
what
cheddar.
cheddar?
Have you ever had
You know
sharp cheddar?
is?
Okay, well, so you mean like it's a
Well,
super
if you have
overpowering taste?
It's
That's what you mean.
stronger.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
sharper. That's the only way to
Okay.
describe it.
Listeners, take notes of what sharp is and what was the other thing. Oh,
Mild.
Sharp
I
is
don't know
sharp.
why.
Evolving.
it's fine. It's fine. I forgot my left nip. It kind of needed to be subdued at this point. So
You keep talking about
Just
Havarti.
Stop.
hey, settle. Settle.
Keep talking about Havarti. I'll fix my hat.
I actually don't mind blue cheese, and I don't really like cheese that much.
I like white cheese.
When you order a salad,
Wedge salad with blue cheese is very
I've
good.
actually never had
Very
blue
good.
cheese before.
Very
Never
good.
had blue
what's
cheese.
your preferred salad dressing topping?
Richard Ranch.
Well, it
I mean,
depends on the salad. It depends on the salad. You
The-
can't say that.
Salad
no,
dressing
always
topping,
ranch because I
probably
never had blue
Green-
cheese.
Salad dressing.
Green salad. What's your favorite salad dressing?
Probably a balsamic vinegar.
That's the right answer. But Colby,
Balsamic.
Ranch.
What's your
Balsamic.
balsamic?
I've only when it
salad.
comes to
What's
salad
yours? You have
toppings, I've only had salad 3 times in my life. And of all those times, I have had ranch. So I can't confirm or deny that either blue cheese or balsamic vinegar.
Do we
is a
have
better
anything in the
decision.
fridge
Hey,
that is not ranch?
Somebody make him a salad.
Hey, if you're talking about salad, don't let him talk. Just don't.
No.
Alright, move on. What about a wedge salad? What's your favorite type of dressing on it?
Wedge salad, I've only had at Cheesecake Factory, and I think I had it dry.
Okay.
That's my opinion. I'm not proud of it, but that's my
What is a wedge salad?
ate some
Okay.
lettuce.
It's like big old
Wedge
lettuce.
salad. It's like kind of okay. You know, like an iceberg, like a head of iceberg lettuce. Like, imagine cutting that into like a slice of pie, and then turning it upside
it's-
down, and then putting bacon on it, blue
Oh.
cheese, and then ranch.
That was
You had me at bacon. You had me at bacon.
It's good. It's very
Okay,
good.
cool.
Wait. What the fuck's Havarti?
Oh, wait, answer your question.
I don't know what that means.
Where's it from? Where have you had it? Why have you
I
had
buy
it?
it at the store.
Really?
Yes.
Store. Like I mean,
Like Safeway.
Just normal
Literally
stuff.
buy
At the same way you said,
Not a big
hey,
deal.
may I have some Savardi cheese?
I don't ask anybody. It's in the goddamn shelf.
Everyone comment below if you've had Havarti, and then comment if you liked it.
Wait,
That's it.
Wait, is it Havarti or Savardi?
Who knows?
Havarti.
No,
it's
Havarti.
It's a H with the H? Okay.
H-A.
My mistake.
H-A-V.
My mistake.
What's everyone's opinion on goat cheese?
Hey, York.
Goat
I,
cheese?
I like it a lot.
I
It's great
pretty
with a little bit of mint jelly
Yeah,
on a
okay.
cracker.
I'm really
Okay.
good at
sounds good.
sprinkling it on not
Okay.
sprinkling because it's kind of sticky. I'm putting it on pizza. I'm a pizza maker.
Listen, I've seen a Full House episode where like a new guy went into like new guy was introduced to the family, and it was really weird that he got pizza with goat cheese. So I learned then that goat cheese is very bad because a Full House side character went in there. I think it was,
Salad with balsamic dressing.
Brought a salad onto our podcast.
Is that? Oh yeah, that's balsamic. I like it
Wait,
a little more vinegary.
everyone, quiet.
Want to hear
Eat
this
that
reaction?
quickly because I don't like quiet. Opinion?
Do we have any Havarti cheese?
Havarti cheese. That's a no. We got enough Havarti cheese.
it could have been ranch.
It could have been ranch, folks. So ranch. So
It's so much.
Garcon.
before
That
and
taste
after,
is so overpowering.
specifically
It's
after.
because you didn't stir the salad.
Listen, if I've had 3 salads in my life,
That's barbecue sauce. What the fuck,
Bamboozled. That's barbecue.
you're bamboos. Oh no.
Not balsamic.
I was like, it looks kind of thick, but I didn't think anything of it.
How did you not recognize that immediately as barbecue sauce?
Off-screen bamboozled us.
I did just go with the flow.
God, dude.
I hope this is a good podcast.
All backstage is fired. Everyone get out.
Get out.
Damn it. Just leave.
Get out. Okay.
Hey.
What do we got next? Like favorite type of lettuce? No,
Why is this
wait.
like?
What the fuck? What type of lettuce?
Why does it
Three
smell
different
like
types.
Oprah's favorite things?
Dude, Oprah. Well, I don't know anything about Overwatch.
Yeah, I know.
I can't stop playing with this hat. Sorry, backstage. This is one of your guys' hat.
It's fine.
Lifeguard. Someone else talk.
Yeah, I think we can mention one thing. So we did. What was the game we just played?
Nidhogg.
Nidhogg. So we played Nidhogg during our middle thing.
In between.
And in between. And if you were to watch it, you would know something. Sam was playing the entire freaking time because when we play games like that, he knows the game.
Good at it.
He fully knows the game and he was good at it. And perhaps I'm bad at video games. Perhaps I am. Perhaps they're all bad at video games.
No.
Hey, who's got the highest?
Okay, we'll bleep
Who's got
that
the
out.
highest in Golden Overwatch?
There's plenty.
We'll
of
bleep that
games.
out.
We've got beat.
Yeah, we'll bleep that out.
Have you gotten the highest?
No.
Yeah, me. Well, it was either me or you.
Who's
right?
ranked the
Was it
highest
Miguel?
in Overwatch?
No, it wasn't Michaela.
Probably not me.
Shut up, backstage.
You don't count. You don't count.
I'm 1882. What are you?
I don't remember.
Unranked. What are you?
1762.
Only plays JRPGs. What? Never mind. He said 1770 something. What are you?
I almost hit 2300
Oh,
last
I'm the best. That's what I heard. I'm sorry. I'm embarrassed of that. It just happened.
You're
Someone
fine.
else talk.
Don't be self-conscious of yourself. That you're only an enemy to yourself.
He's plat.
Who?
That mofo is plat.
I'm Platt.
Get
He's
out!
not Platt. He's
Get
not
out!
Platt. He was almost Platt when we carried his ass.
Really?
Back in the heyday of Mercy.
How much time do we have?
Sit on your chair. Sit on your chair.
Wait, what do we have? 30 seconds. Everyone, thank you for watching.
Thank you so
Before and
much.
after podcast.
I'm not sure how this went. I'm not sure how this went. but
Join
we're very
us.
happy.
Join us next time, maybe with different people. This was fun. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.